What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. So as I promised, I am going to be discussing and comparing the two legendaries for the Razorback, that being the Aurora Borealis and the Necessary Diplomacy. So in this video, we are going to be focusing on what these two legendaries contain and which one is just basically better than the other. So before we get into this, make sure to subscribe, make sure to leave a like, and make sure to leave a comment down below and tell me what you guys think which weapon is better, which of course is probably going to be this one that you're seeing right now. So now let's get into it. So as of right now, we are going to be focusing on the legendaries in terms of chronological order. So, of course, the Necessary Diplomacy for the Razorback was released back in Season 13, right before COD Mobile got the season resets. So, back in Season 13, when everything was being leaked out right before the season actually started, we did get a look at the lucky draws that were going to be making its way into that particular season, and we did see that the Razorback Necessary Diplomacy was going to be one of them. So a lot of people were happy, and some people had mixed feelings. For me, mostly I had mixed feelings because I wasn't really a fan of how this legendary looked like. I was expecting the Razorback to have some sort of amazing reactive type of galaxy-like camo. And at the time, thinking about it wasn't really a bad thought because, I mean, this weapon, or at least this season, was going to represent space and a little bit of Christmas. And it was made more evident when the QXR was given a kind of like a Borealis effect, as well as having the BK-57 space race. But, little did I know that the Razorback was going to be looking like this. Like, honestly, looking at it right now, just eyeballing it, you could already say it just looks like trash. And if you've been around in my channel a lot, you guys would know that I refer to this weapon as the Russian version of the 0G that was given to the Cordite. Because, I mean, if you think about it, they're very similar legendaries. I mean, the 0G Cordite has an orbiting satellite, while this one has an orbiting rocket, and they both have reactive effects, but the only difference is that the Necessary Diplomacy has a kill counter. So now we move on to like 4 seasons later, and we have a second legendary released for the Razorback, which is of course the Boreal Aegis, or what I like to call it, the Aurora Borealis. So just eyeballing it right now, like with it not even less than a second, you could already tell that this weapon in terms of cosmetics is far superior to the Necessary Diplomacy. So I'm not really going to talk too much about this skin because I already talked about it in a previous video. I'll have a link to it down below in the description, or I'll just have it as a title card like at the end of the video. So as for right now, we're just going to focus on what these two legendaries have. So right off the bat, both of these legendary skins are reactive. They're both animated. They both have different iron sights. They have outer animations such as, the orbiting rocket and the Borealis effect, and a different firing sound. So while they're pretty much the same when it comes to effects and just all the features that they have, there are some features that are better than the other. So now let's talk about that. So for the Necessary Diplomacy, it is pretty bad. So the only good things that this weapon has over the Aurora Borealis variation is the kill counter and the firing sound. So of course the Borealis does not have the kill counter, but I'm going to give the firing sound achievement over to the Necessary Diplomacy, since you can notice it a lot more than the Borealis. So as for the Borealis, it does have an animated effect before any sort of reactive effect. So basically meaning that right when you start the game, it's already animated before you reach any reactive stages, compared to the Necessary Diplomacy, where it doesn't actually have any effects at all starting off. It also has a better iron sight. It doesn't really obstruct as much as the Necessary Diplomacy. The animations are far more colorful than the Diplomacy. The only animations that you really see is either the orbiting rocket or the fire coming out of the front rocket in the iron sights. It also has a multicolored animation, meaning that it could change colors in between the animations. So sometimes it could be orange, it could be green, yellow. Yeah, it has all these different colors. And it does also have better outer effects. So by outer effects, I actually mean the Aurora Borealis that's actually surrounding the gun. So yeah, obviously by a long shot, the Boreal Aegis for the Razorback is definitely the far more superior legendary compared to the Necessary Diplomacy. So even though the Necessary Diplomacy has a better firing sound only because it's a little bit louder than the one that you hear for the Borealis one, yeah, there's really not a lot I can say about the diplomacy because it's not a good legendary overall. It's one of the worst ones I think I've seen, right next to, I believe, the RPD legendary. So let's picture this scenario. Someone comes up to you and offers you one or the other legendary skin for free. Which one are you going to choose? Like, most chances is that, they're going to choose the Borealis one over the diplomacy. I don't know, man. The Razorback is a very, very mixed weapon. I mean, it has like one of the worst legendaries, but at the same time, it also has one of the best legendaries, if that makes any sense. So anyways, this is where I'm going to end things off. I hope you guys enjoyed this comparison video for the Razorback Necessary Diplomacy versus the Aurora Borealis variation. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.